Welcome to another edition of Smalltalk for You. This morning I wanted to take a look at applications and sub-applications in VA Smalltalk. I haven't really talked about sub-applications. They're just a way of organizing things in your code base such that you have an application and then you can have any number of hierarchically organized underneath that sub-applications. For the most part, sub-applications are like applications except that they're owned by other apps. And you can pretty much do all of your VA work without them, but there are a couple of cases where they're useful, and the best example here I can show you is in the system itself. Common File System is an application. Notice that we have some sub-apps. Down here I have this one for Windows and another one for Windows, so I have two that are specific to Windows and then paths and streams that are probably generic. Now, you might think, well, okay, so what, I have that all sitting there. Let's go ahead and look in Envy, Common File System. Notice there are a whole bunch more here. I come in here and I see a whole bunch of sub-applications down here. I see PMWin, ESWin, and then looking at this I see Common Implementation Unix. Notice what I've got here. I've got configuration expressions. What I'm telling the system here is, if we're on Unix, load these sub-applications. If I'm on Windows, load these sub-applications. So I can configure sub-applications just like I can configure config maps to conditionally load based on an expression that returns a Boolean. And this is kind of a common way that they're used, and again, this is an example in the system, so it's obviously a common way of using this. And it's just one more way to organize code so that when you load things in, you don't load in the stuff you're not interested in on that platform. Now, things work differently in other platforms. If you're on VisualWorks, for instance, that tends to load all of the code that you have, whether you're talking about Windows or Unix, it all comes in. Here on VA, they do things a little differently. What they do is they organize things this way, and you have conditional expressions, and things will come in only if they're needed. So that's just one way of doing things. Again, you can avoid sub-applications for the most part, or you can organize things this way. It's kind of up to you. It's just a nice thing that you can do if you want to conditionally load things that are platform specific. Not the only use for sub-apps, but it's one of the most common ones. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.